Ukrainian forces continue to pursue a defensive strategy against Russian soldiers. Russian forces continue their operations by increasing their raids in the Donetsk, Sonka, Veryokamanske, Novoandreevka regions. Today, we will witness the stages of such an operation together. Now let's all look at the real footage of the front together. The 12th Azov Brigade, 2nd Battalion, Special Forces Reconnaissance Unit is facing a Russian military raid in the Novoandreevka Mountains. This location is so critical that the side that holds it has a great advantage, because from here, artillery strikes can be launched over a large area without any obstacles. Ukrainian soldiers are positioned in an advantageous position. Russian soldiers coming towards them are in the forest down the hillside. First contact is made with Russian soldiers, and the first attack begins with RPG fire. A successful defense is carried out with only a small group of soldiers. Russia unfortunately makes a strategic mistake due to its position. A series of RPG grenades and heavy machine guns are used to launch heavy attacks from above. Russian soldiers are forced to withdraw without being able to launch a significant attack. In the meantime, you can support us by liking and commenting on our content. We need this to continue producing these videos. The 60th Mechanized Brigade is launching a large-scale operation against Russian infantry and bunkers near Donetsk in the Donetsk region. Ukrainian soldiers, advancing behind armored vehicles, encounter Russian soldiers and a firefight ensues. The operation is part of the Ukrainian army's continuing determined advance against Russian forces in the region. There is a rapid response. Supporting fire is opened from the armored vehicle. Russian soldiers have no intention of surrendering. Ukrainian soldiers are forced to approach the trenches. Ukrainian soldiers call on Russian soldiers to surrender. It is always easier to take prisoners than to fight. But Russian soldiers continue to return fire. Ukrainian soldiers approach the trenches throwing grenades. They are conducting a very careful attack on the trenches. Also, mortar shells are seen constantly. Ukraine is prepared for this operation. Russian soldiers who did not surrender continue to resist, but they are left alone. Moreover, they face the disadvantages of armored vehicles. These students are not volunteer units. These are Ukrainian special military units. Ukrainian infantry are making successful attacks, and Russian bunkers are being cleared. The K2 Battalion of the 53rd Mechanized Brigade detected Russian vehicles. After detecting Russian armored vehicles, artillery attacks were made on critical coordinates. Russian military vehicles worth millions of dollars were completely destroyed by repeated artillery fire. A Leopard tank from the 5th Tank Battalion is attacking buildings that Russian soldiers have designated as cover. It is clearly obvious that the Russian soldiers do not have any weapons against the tank. No counterattack is carried out against the tank. It is reported that 3 Russian soldiers lost their lives in this attack. A Russian artillery unit positioned on a high point. The biggest mistake of the Russian artillery unit, which is actually in a good position, is that they are in an open position where they can be easily detected. Taking advantage of this mistake, the Ukrainian army launches a mortar attack. The Russian soldiers start to flee in panic with the incoming attack. The second attack destroys the artillery vehicle. This mistake of positioning in open ground causes them great losses. A Russian trench spotted by the K2 Battalion of the 53rd Mechanized Brigade. Russian soldiers monitored by drones, are walking around the trenches, digging, talking among themselves, and reinforcing the trenches. But they are unaware of the attacks that will soon come. The artillery fire of Ukraine is starting a big escape. Fully equipped Russian soldiers are completely helpless against the incoming artillery attack. The successive Ukrainian attacks are turning the entire terrain into chaos. The trenches are hit with pinpoint accuracy. Although the Russian soldiers trying to escape the devastating artillery shells enter the trenches, their chances of survival are very low in the face of this destruction. Russian soldiers can't even see a target to respond to. All this is being watched by FPV drones. The surviving soldiers have to leave the trenches because the artillery fire will continue as long as they stay there. Many casualties are suffered. The toll of the heavy damage that Russia has taken in this position is quite high. They are forced to abandon these well-equipped, ammunition-filled trenches. Only 2 of the 20 or so Russian soldiers managed to escape alive. But they are being watched by drones in this desolate area. Will these soldiers really be able to escape? Another Russian position that will share the same fate. A large Russian unit is comfortably hanging out in the trenches. Our best analysis of all these attacks is that Russia has not taken any precautions against drones. The biggest reason for these attacks is that the positions are made with the intelligence provided by drones. The movements of the Russian soldiers who continue their daily lives are being monitored for a while longer. The reason for this is to make sure that they are gathered in a fixed area. After the infantry is gathered in certain places, the first attack is launched by the Ukrainian side. Artillery units completely eliminate the trenches. In this war, intelligence is once again seen as being of critical importance in critical operations. As the fighting rages on, Russian forces continue to put pressure on critical frontline areas, forcing Ukrainian troops to make tactical withdrawals in some sectors. Control over these key regions remains fiercely contested, with neither side willing to back down easily. We will continue to follow these crucial battles as they shape the future of the conflict. Stay tuned for more updates from the front lines. As the conflict continues to intensify, Ukrainian forces demonstrate unwavering determination on every front. With each successful operation, the balance on the battlefield shifts further. We will keep bringing you the latest developments and raw footage from the heart of the fighting. Stay with us to witness how this war unfolds, day by day.